Okay, so you know how everyone loves to check those like compatibility things
Yeah.
when they're into someone new, like what's your sign, right? But like, let's be real, those are kind of surface level.
Yeah.
So today we're going deeper, like way deeper. We're diving into Gemini and Capricorn.
Interesting combo. What's fascinating is how different they seem, at least on the surface, like classic clash of styles.
Totally. That's
Yeah.
like two totally different worlds almost.
Yeah.
We've got, on the one hand, Gemini, the super chatty one, always curious,
Hmm.
social butterfly, flitting around, new experiences all the time.
Right, right.
And then you've got Capricorn, totally different vibe. Grounded, practical, tradition is important, stability, those deep connections.
Absolutely. Different wavelengths for sure. But here's the thing. Astrology isn't about like finding reasons to not be together.
Okay, so not a deal breaker automatically.
It's about how these energies, even if they seem totally opposite, how they play out, how they could actually work, maybe even better because of the differences.
I like that. So it's less, should these two even bother? And more like, okay, how does this actually work then?
Yeah.
Which brings me to intimacy. Things get kind of real there. And our source does not hold back.
It's a fascinating contrast, like night and day almost. Capricorn is all about straightforwardness, physical connection, very much in their body.
Makes sense.
But then you have Gemini, who brings this playful, like, exploration, experimentation, and they love to talk, teasing, whispering. It's all part of it.
Well, I see where this is going. Miscommunications galore.
Exactly.
People
Big
are-
time. Our source even points out, like, Capricorn might think Gemini's not really feeling it, Too flighty.
And Gemini's probably thinking, boring, spice it up.
Yeah, like too traditional, too predictable, not enough excitement.
Ouch. But, I mean, we've heard it before. Opposites attract. But they could also clash, right? So where's the growth potential in this whole Gemini-Capricorn thing?
That's what's so cool about astrology. It's not hopeless, not at all. Both signs, they've got stuff to learn from each other if they're open to it.
I'm listening.
So, Capricorn, time to loosen up a bit, embrace the spontaneity, that playful energy.
Okay, I can see that. What about Gemini?
Gemini can learn about deeper connection, like sensuality that's not all over the place,
Finding that balance. Gotcha. Okay, new question.
Yeah.
Trust. Can they really rely on each other? Their whole approach to life's different. Maybe even honesty. What's the source say?
This is where it gets interesting. So, Capricorn, right. They're practical, observant, and they're not as easily fooled as you'd think, even with Gemini's, shall we say, flexible relationship with the truth.
Wait, hold on. You're saying Capricorn sees right through those little white lies.
Not see-through, exactly. More like,
Yeah.
understands Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, right? Structure, responsibility. They see patterns, connect the dots, might not call out every fib, but they notice inconsistencies.
So it's not about being naive. It's more like Capricorn defines trust differently. Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. It's about the why behind what someone does, not just what they say. And this gets even more interesting when we talk about communication. We've got Gemini, ruled by Mercury, all about that communication.
Chatty Cathy, we know.
Exactly. And then Capricorn, intention and purpose behind every word.
Oh boy, I see where this is going.
Right. Gemini could talk for days, loves witty banter, telling stories, all of it. But Capricorn, they'd rather say nothing than make small talk. Every word has to mean something.
So how do they find common ground?
You see, that's the thing. It's not about, like, becoming the other person communication-wise. It's those differences right there. That's where the magic is.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm hooked. Tell me more. How so? How's that work, Gemini Capricorn?
So picture this. Gemini, always quick, witty, loves bouncing around ideas, right? They can help Capricorn loosen up, see new perspectives.
So it's like Gemini lightens the mood, brings the fun.
100%. And Capricorn, they ground those ideas. Gemini is all over the place, but Capricorn brings the structure, the plan, makes it real.
The classic dreamer-doer combo. I dig it.
Our source had this great example. Imagine Gemini, all excited about some, like, cosmic theory, right? Way out there. Capricorn listens, doesn't just brush it off. They start asking, okay, but how do we explore this? What's the practical angle?
Whoa, I never thought about it
Yeah.
like that. So Capricorn takes that Gemini energy, makes it tangible, like two sides of the same coin almost.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just talking. Values, activities, even how they show emotions. That's a whole other thing, the source says. Neither one's exactly wearing their heart on their sleeve.
Hold up. If either's emotional, isn't that like a recipe for a boring relationship?
Not so fast. It's not about lacking emotions. It's how they express them. Capricorn, acts of service, being reliable, that steady rock, No grand gestures, but they're there. always.
Okay, that's actually pretty romantic in its own way, like the strong silent type, but they really show up.
Right. And Gemini. Playful, saying those affirming things, sharing experiences. They want to keep it interesting, mentally stimulating.
So even if it looks different, both people feel loved. It's about getting that, appreciating it. But what about, like, the day-to-day? Making decisions together, doing stuff. That's going to be tough.
Oh, for sure. Imagine planning a vacation. Gemini's all spontaneous, go with the flow. Capricorn, they need the itinerary, the budget, backup plans.
Recipe for disaster right there.
Our source really stresses how important compromise is here.
Can't just be one person always giving in.
Right. It's finding solutions that work for both. Maybe not totally unplanned, but room for spontaneity.
Right?
Or they take turns planning. 1 year structured, next year adventure.
I love that. Keeps it fresh for both of them. Takes work, but worth it.
Totally. And that goes for everything. Communication, intimacy, values, even fighting. Speaking of which, how do these two handle disagreements? Because, let's be real, it happens.
Yeah, no relationship's perfect. So air sign versus earth sign, how's that usually go down? I feel like their communication styles come back into play here. So
Yeah.
we're talking about, like, actually disagreeing, but one's all about talking it out. The other one, not so much. Sounds kind of messy.
Yeah, misunderstandings can definitely happen, especially if someone's not budging, right? Gemini. They process by talking it through, analyzing, even debating. It's all part of it, getting it out in the open.
Which is like Capricorn's worst nightmare, probably. They're not about to have a public meltdown.
Exactly. Capricorn's internal. They think it over, weigh the options, and then maybe they share. Direct and honest, yeah, but they know words have power.
Okay, so how do you bridge that gap? When they disagree, how can it actually work for both of them?
It goes back to getting the other person's needs. Gemini, they got to realize when Capricorn's quiet, it's not ignoring you. It's processing time.
So, like, badgering them for an answer right away, probably not helpful.
The opposite. And Capricorn can try to see that Gemini's not trying to be dramatic. Talking it out, that's how they figure things out emotionally.
It's about a space where both feel safe, heard, even if it looks different for each person. Makes sense to me. This whole time, talking about this, it's making me think, you know those cheesy sayings? Opposites attract. Maybe there's some truth to it, huh? Gemini, Capricorn, so different.
Totally. That's what makes this pairing so interesting to me. Challenges, pushing each other out of comfort zones. Huge growth potential, if they can handle it.
Like, each one has this piece the other one needs to become, like, a more complete version of themselves.
Exactly. And it's not just romantic either. Friendships, family, even work. Imagine these two on a project together.
I'm already picturing it. Gemini's got a million ideas, full of imagination, and Capricorn's like, okay, but how? The details, let's make it happen.
Right. Different strength, but put them together. Something really cool comes out of it.
That's a powerful image. It's like different lenses on the world. Combine those, you see so much more.
Love that analogy. Our differences, the things that make us us, those are often our strengths. Embrace that in ourselves and others, and so much opens up.
What a great thought. But before we wrap up, you said earlier this isn't just about being with a Gemini or Capricorn, right?
Yeah.
What about the rest of us? How do we use this?
Such a good question. This is what I love. Astrology, it's really about people, you know? Like those patterns we all have, how we act, why we do what we do.
So it's not just horoscopes and who to date.
Way more to it. Deeper. The stuff about Gemini, Capricorn, communicating, emotions, disagreeing, it's all human stuff just through that lens.
Okay, I'm making the connection now. So even if I don't know a Gemini or Capricorn well, just understanding those types,
Yeah.
it helps me see my life differently.
Exactly. Your friends, family, people at work, see if you can spot those traits. The big idea person who needs grounding, the super reliable one who could use some spontaneity.
Whoa, yeah, it's like those patterns are everywhere once you start noticing them.
Right, that's when it gets exciting. We start to see those archetypes, we understand ourselves, and everyone else better.
More compassion, empathy, all that good stuff that helps us connect. That's a big takeaway.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We're all part of this cosmic dance, you know? Embrace the differences and amazing things can happen.
Perfect note to end on. Thanks for being here, diving into Gemini Capricorn with us. I'm inspired now. Got to look at all my relationships differently.
The pleasure was all mine. And hey, the cosmos is always out there, giving us chances to grow, connect, find that magic in unexpected spots.
I love that. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep looking up, keep those questions coming, and embrace how wonderfully complex life and love are.